The HOA keeps finding me for a woman standing in my yard. The HOA emailed photos of a trespasser in my yard. A pale woman standing near the mailbox at 3:00 a.m. They fined me $200. I checked my security footage. Nothing. Next month, another fine, another photo. This time, she was closer to the house. Last night, I got an email. Final notice. She's at your front door. My heart was hammering against my ribs, a frantic drumbeat in the sudden, suffocating silence of my house. She was gone, just like that, vanished from the peephole view. I waited, holding my breath, my ear pressed against the cold wood of the door, listening for footsteps, a cough, anything, nothing, just the low hum of the refrigerator and the distant sound of traffic. Slowly, I unlocked the door, my hand trembling so hard I could barely turn the deadbolt. I peeked outside. The porch was empty. The street was quiet, bathed in the eerie orange glow of the streetlights. It was like she had never been there at all. Was I losing my mind? Had I imagined the whole thing? The pale face, the dark, hollow eyes, the unnerving stillness. I slammed the door shut and triple-locked it, my back pressed against it as I tried to slow my breathing. My mind raced. This wasn't normal. I grabbed my phone, my fingers fumbling as I pulled up the security camera app. I rewound the footage to the moment I heard the knock. There, the time stamp confirmed it. But on the screen, there was nothing, just my empty porch. I scrubbed back and forth, my confusion turning into a cold, creeping dread. The camera showed nothing, no woman, no knock, just emptiness. This had to be a technical glitch, a malfunction. That was the only logical explanation. The next morning, still shaken, I called my HOA. I described the woman, the persistent knocking, the feeling of being watched. I asked if anyone else had reported a similar disturbance. The woman on the phone was polite but unhelpful. "No sir," she said, her voice smooth and practiced. "We haven't received any other complaints." "Are you sure you're not mistaken?" "Mistaken." Her words echoed in my head. Days turned into a week. I tried to forget, to convince myself it was a stress-induced hallucination. But then, it happened again. This time, there was no knock, just a feeling, a sudden, intense chill that made the hairs on my arms stand up. I crept to the peephole, my heart in my throat, and there she was, standing on my porch, her head tilted slightly, a faint, knowing smile on her pale lips, as if she knew I was watching. And this time, she raised a hand, not to knock, but to wave, a slow, deliberate wave, directly at me. "Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe for the next part of the story." She spoke to me. For weeks, she was just a silent fixture, a porcelain doll propped up on my lawn, always watching. But last night, she spoke. Her voice was like wind chimes made of bone, whispering a single, chilling phrase. "You're late on your dues." Then she just smiled. That same vacant, painted-on smile. I slammed the door, my heart hammering against my ribs like a trapped bird. The quiet of my house was no longer a comfort. It was a vacuum, waiting to be filled by her voice again. I didn't sleep. How could I? Every creak of the floorboards, every rustle of leaves outside my window, I was sure it was her, finding a new way in. By morning, I was a wreck. I called the police. I tried to sound rational, explaining that a woman, part of the HOA, was trespassing, harassing me, appearing on my property at all hours. The officer on the line sounded bored. "Is she threatening you, sir?" "She's unsettling," I said, my voice barely a whisper. "Unsettling isn't a crime, sir. Maybe just pay your dues." The line went dead. They didn't get it. No one could. My life started to shrink. The blinds stayed down, day and night. I ordered groceries online, refusing to step outside. Work became a nightmare of missed deadlines and incoherent emails. My boss called, concerned. I mumbled something about a stomach bug. How could I explain that I was a prisoner in my own home, held captive by the fear of a woman with a too-wide smile and eyes that saw right through my walls? She was getting bolder. One afternoon, I peeked through the blinds and saw her standing by my mailbox, holding a single crisp white envelope. She didn't put it in the box. She just stood there, holding it out, as if waiting for me to come and get it. I watched for an hour, my muscles cramping, until she finally turned and walked away, taking the letter with her. The next day, I found it taped to my front door. Inside was a single sheet of paper, a photograph of me, sleeping in my bed. The photo was taken from inside my room. Panic clawed at my throat. I changed all the locks, installed a new security system with cameras covering every angle. It didn't matter. The next morning, the footage from the night before was wiped clean. The only thing left was a single, corrupted file that, when I managed to open it, played a 1-second clip. Her face pressed right up against the lens, her smile wider than ever. Desperate, I turned to the internet, diving into obscure forums about neighborhood watch groups and strange HOA encounters. I posted my story, anonymously. Most responses were dismissive pranks, overactive imagination, but one private message stood out. My hands shook as I dug out the mountain of paperwork I'd received when I moved in. The HOA bylaw, it was dense, legalistic, almost unreadable, but I found it. Section 7, Community Cohesion and Permanence. Clause B, it wasn't about fines or lawn maintenance. It spoke of perpetual residency and the unification of the community aesthetic. It described a process, a transition, for residents who failed to integrate. It talked about preserving the neighborhood's character, quite literally. Then I saw her again, not on my lawn this time, but on my security monitor, standing in my living room. I was in my office upstairs. She hadn't broken a window or forced a lock. She was just there. She slowly turned her head and looked directly at the camera in the corner of the room. She held up a hand and waved a slow, deliberate motion. And then, her face began to change. The skin tightened, cracking like old paint. The smile widened until it was a grotesque gash, and her eyes, those dark, empty eyes, seemed to glow from within. I understood then, the warnings, the violations, the dues. It was all a test I had failed. The HOA wasn't just a committee of nosy neighbors. It was something else. Something ancient and hungry. They weren't just enforcing rules. They were curating a collection, and I was the newest acquisition. I heard footsteps on the stairs, slow, rhythmic, the sound of porcelain feet on wooden planks. There was nowhere left to run. The door to my office slowly creaked open. "Welcome to the neighborhood," she chimed, her voice echoing in the sudden, silent dark. "You're going to be here for a very, very long time."